back. I don't know what exactly all these difficulties have been. It's really unfortunate, but here I got this fork. I'm taking a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, and tasting now. Now this has to go in, and meld with my dish. So I need to make sure that everything's good with it. And now it's really tangy, and I think that's what I want, honestly. I think because this is, I'm using the sweet potato, and I'm kind of this sour cream puree avocado thing is going to be kind of to get that coolness, because this masala is going to be spicy. So this is going to kind of be, it's almost two sides of the sweet potato, the spice and then the coolness. You think about baked potatoes, you think a lot about sour cream and stuff. So that's kind of this sour cream puree avocado thing. And the stream seems to be having issues again. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it'll come back here. I think we've recovered. But okay, so a puree is good. I believe the puree is what I want it to be. I'm going to put this in the fridge for now while I continue the rest. And normally, you worry about avocado browning. The lemon will keep that from browning. Citrus helps avocados not brown. So a little tip for you if you're making guacamole, a little citrus goes a long way in keeping it from being brown. Okay, now masala time. What I'm going to be doing for my masala is starting out with a coconut oil curry base, and I'll show you kind of what that means. To start, this is the sauce, or the pan I'm going to be using. It's kind of a typical frying pan. I'm going to be putting coconut oil into it, quite a bit actually of coconut oil in here. And I'm getting out the coconut oil right now, getting it into this, and it's kind of difficult, so it'll take me just a second, because coconut oil kind of comes together and clumps up. So I have to take a fork and kind of grate it out. But I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so here you see, it'll be hard to see, but there's our coconut oil sitting in there. And I'm going to be putting this on the stove with a little curry, and I guess I'll put the curry in too. You kind of, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. I need to turn up the heat to do that, so I'll kind of explain what's happening. Now, you can definitely make your own curry. I'm going to be using this pre-made curry mix just because I don't have all the ingredients to make my own curry, but there's plenty of great curry recipes out there. You just look them up and make your own powder. You can use different things, turmeric and all these types of ingredients or these spices come together to make a curry. I'm just going to be using this premix right now. And I just basically pour it on over the coconut oil and then turn on the heat. And to start, I kind of leave this at a medium, but I'm going to put it low because masala you have to slow cook. And welcome crowd control guns. Welcome to my kitchen, man. You can get all up in it if you want. That's fine. I'm making you dinner. I'm going to put this sour cream wet before it gets all nasty. And I'm going to be adding more coconut oil as it goes, but right now I'm just trying to melt that, get it kind of in this mixture-y thing. And yeah, so I'm going to take this fork and kind of start glazing this. Okay, now it just needs a little more coconut oil. A little more coconut oil, and then we're going to start adding in the vegetables. Okay, now I'm going to add in the vegetables and cover it. Put it on a low heat. Masala is kind of like a thing you slow cook for a long period of time. I'm going to take this lid, cover up my pan, and let it kind of melt together almost. It's, it turns into like a medley, like a mushy kind of masala thing. It's really good, but I'm gonna be constantly stirring it because you gotta stir it, otherwise the bottom ones will get too hot and the other ones won't cook very well. For now, I'll be cutting up these peppers and throwing them in as well. So I'm gonna start with the jalapeno and just kind of chop it into fine little bits here. And then from here, I can kind of quarter it. It really doesn't matter too much. I'm just going to be kind of mincing this, dicing it into little pieces, but yeah, mincing it up into small pieces, and mixing it into the masala. And honestly, I kind of want it to just meld in with all the other vegetables and stuff. And that way you get an even heat. If you kind of leave big pieces, then someone bites into a big chunk of jalapeno, and they get the burst of spice, instead of kind of that like even heat throughout the entire thing. That's what you want. So we're putting this in the mix right now. Then I'll be cutting up the serrano pepper. Serrano pepper is much smaller, a little bit easier to cut. Now that we've got this minced up, we can put this in as well. I'm going to rinse off my hand and then start mixing this up. You cooked for a grill today? That's pretty sweet. I'm assuming you mean girl. I think you said grill, which is, usually you cook on the grill, not for the grill, but hey, whatever floats your boat. I'm using these tongs, but I gotta clean them off real quick. And this is what this looks like right now. I can't show you too well. There's a fine curry at the bottom, and I'm kind of trying to mix it all up. I'm going to be throwing some more coconut oil and some more curry powder on here because I think it needs a little more. And then I'll be covering it and letting it kind of go for a while. We have a sweet potato grilling in the oven, or baking, not grilling. You got me all mixed up now, crowd control guns, with your grills. And now we got a healthy amount of curry powder in there. Gonna be throwing in more coconut oil, kind of even that out. I'm gonna mix it all up. What's up, Raven? How's it going? I'm making dinner right now. Obviously my back's to you right now, but now I'm facing you. On my screen, my back's to you, and you're saying things. So, mixing up the curry right now. And this mango right here, we're going to be adding a little later, but this is going to go in a little later because you start putting this in too early and it's going to get all mushy and everything. And the stream's having issues again. I do apologize. It's going to cut out for a moment. Hopefully it'll recover again. I think it probably will. And I think it's about to come back. Been having a lot of issues with the stream today. Not sure why, but it's okay. I think the stream should be recovering right now. It's a little delayed, but I'm getting the green light, so I think that means we're good, hopefully. Right now there's not a lot going on anyway. I'm just going to be mixing up a little garlic. It's the next step here, which I'm going to be adding the masala as well. And so I showed you a trick before, using the flat of your knife to kind of skin the garlic, and you can do it multiple cloves at a time. I'm going to be throwing about 3 cloves into the masala. You see it kind of smushes it, which makes the skin easily come off. And then you just got that little garlic clove, good to go. These ones, I'm going to have to do again. They didn't quite get the full treatment, but, all it needs, another one, you're good to go. Sometimes doing multiple at the same time doesn't really work out, especially when, there's got some thick and girthy ones. And I know if Poseidon's watching right now, she hates the word girthy, so, not to gross her out or anything, but I think that's the only way to put it. And here we're just going to kind of go to town on this garlic, mix it up. Get it into small little shreds so we can put it in the masala and it'll kind of melt in there. And also, like the jalapeno, garlic's a very potent thing. You don't want to get this giant chunk of garlic in your mouth. That's all you're going to taste. You're not going to taste all the other flavors coming again to enhance the dish. All you're going to taste is a bunch of garlic. So that's kind of shitty. And we try to avoid that as well as we can. And the garlic's getting good. I don't know how well you can see it, but garlic is getting pretty good here. We're going to throw that into the masala next. Actually, there's some caught on the blade. I'm going to mix those up a little harder. So this goes in. And you kind of throw the garlic in a little later because, you know, they say you don't want burnt garlic. Burnt garlic tastes gross, so I throw it in a little bit later. I don't really know how true that is, honestly. I've heard that plenty of times. I don't really know how I feel. And yeah, I'm wearing a soccer ref jersey that I got at the Goodwill. It's pretty awesome. At least I think so. You probably might not think the same, but I'm pretty proud of it. And so I think we're about ready for the mango. Throwing the mango now. And when I mix this up, I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Alright, so this is what it kind of looks like now. It's really hard to show you without spilling any, so this is about as good as I can get right now. Maybe I can kind of angle it better. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You stir it up, and you let this slow cook a little bit longer. I'm going to be throwing in a few more spices. I'm throwing a little paprika, but really it's got a lot of flavor already. It's very potent. So I'm going to throw this back on the stove, throw a little paprika in, and then let it cook for a while more. And not a lot, you know. There's already some in there, so it's not needing a lot. Actually, I'm going to throw a little cumin in too. I really like cumin with dishes like this. It's got to let it kick. So, you know, this is some whole cumin here. And I guess you don't need to look down there anymore, so. Yeah, it's going straight to me, man. You can just ship it directly to me. Cut out the middleman. But here's a little cumin thrown into the mix. And similarly, you know, it doesn't need a lot. So and this is kind of the phase where we want to taste it to see what you think. It needs a little more something. So I'm going to take a little taste. No, that's delicious. That's exactly what I want it to be. So I'm going to cover this again, and it's got a lot of kick. Wow. Perfect level kick. Because I've got that avocado puree, which is going to counter out the kick. So normally I don't like to put too much spice in something. I'm afraid, you know, some people will be a little dismayed by the heat. But since I've got this kind of cooling agent on the other side of the sweet potato, which I'm going to use, I think we're good. So right now I'm going to check out my sweet potato in the oven and see where that's at. And it's getting pretty close. So done. And then I'll kind of show you what I'm going to do with that. And honestly, this is a very experimental meal for me. I mean, I made masala before. I made kind of things of this nature, but never something quite like this. I've never made an avocado puree. I've never done this with a sweet potato. So we'll find out what that's like. We've also got some rice, which we got on the rice maker. It's actually done. I'm going to be taking that out soon. But for now, I'm just kind of waiting on the sweet potato because I don't want the rice to get cold. So, you know, I've got a little time on my hands. If there's anything you guys want me to do. Last time I juggled. I could do a little juggling again. I was going to juggle onions, but the onions are kind of weird right now. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to juggle avocados. Again. Which is what I did last time. So I'm here to entertain you guys. I aim to please. And last time I did through the legs, but I don't think I can do that here. I would probably like break my leg because there's so many things around me. Let me check. Maybe if I do this, you're not gonna be able to see it, but maybe you can just believe me. I'll try it. Through the leg is very difficult in such a cramped area, but I'll try it. And if I break my laptop in the process, that sucks. Okay. Okay, I didn't get to follow through with it, but I did land it. So there you go. Now you know that I am a juggling machine. Actually, not that amazing. Just can juggle three things, can't juggle four. So, you know, it is what it is. But hey, anything else you guys want me to do while I wait? My only aim in life is to please you guys. I'll put these avocados away before they get too ripe. And I guess this is a good time if you missed it before. This is the puree we made earlier, avocado puree with some sour cream and lemon. It's going to counteract the heat of the masala on the other side of the sweet potato, so that's kind of what I'm doing with that. Can I do that with titties? I don't know how you juggle titties. Like, you just kind of grab onto them. I don't know, man. Like, how would you get 3 titties? That's my question. That is a good question, though. Maybe I'll look it up. Maybe I can find something for you next time. I'll be your guy, your titty juggling man. And for anyone watching like the replay of this on YouTube or something, it's gonna be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? There's someone in chat. Crowd Control Guns asked me if I could juggle titties. So that, it's obviously a response to that. But yeah, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna cover up this coconut oil. I'll put it back in the fridge. And we still got a tiny bit of time, I think, till the sweet potato's done. So once again, we've got time on our hands, and I'm gonna check on the masala again. Ooh, this is good. This is exactly where I want this. If you look at it right here, you can see it's getting really liquidy, and too much more, and it's going to be an issue. So I got to take it off now. Kind of mix it up. Because anymore, you're not going to distinguish the veggies in here from each other. It's just going to be one big medley. And I still want you to kind of be able to be like, that's a tomato, that's a green pepper, that's an onion, that type of thing. Oh, this is the mango, which you just wouldn't be able to do if I let this cook any longer. So we are good on this side of things. So I'm just going to let this sit for a little bit while this sweet potato gets very close. I think we may even be good now, but I'll check out. Yeah, I think this is good to go. Now this is only half a sweet potato, a yam. I'm going to be chopping this up here. And I still haven't exactly figured out what I'm going to do with this thing, honestly, how I want to prepare this. But for now, I'm going to use this fork and just kind of cut it into, I think, thirds. Cut it lengthwise. And the fork is because it's very hot, so I can't really get my hands in there. And now I'm going to basically just let it cool off a tiny bit so I can take the skin off. I can kind of get some of the skin off right now. And there was better ways of doing this, but I just kind of thought of this meal plan, and then immediately was just like, whatever, and threw a sweet potato in the onion in the oven. So this was kind of like a harebrained scheme type thing with the sweet potato. So you'll have to forgive me if it's kind of like a little strange, my methods. But I'm kind of just dissect this real quick and get as much of that sweet potato out as I can right now. And as you can see, I'm just kind of peeling off from the back side of it. Peeling it off bit by bit. It's really hot. And this one's not going so easily. It's got a little more tenacity, I guess. But you got to give it credit. You know, I like a sweet potato with a little bit of fight in it. All right, there we go. Well, these are almost right where I want them. Just gotta remove one more area of skin. Be good to go. Okay, so we're left with these three pieces, as I'm sure you can see right here. I'm going to be kind of taking these, and actually I'm going to think about this, how I exactly want to do this. I kind of had this thing in mind of just putting it down and kind of putting masala and this like puree on the other side, but I want it thinner than this for sure. So I'm kind of going to take this, cut it down the middle. Now I think this is kind of a nice shape here to work with. So I'm going to go into plating here. This is a different dish, you know. It's a different kind of dish. So I'm going to kind of show you how I'm going to plate this. I'm going to start out by putting down this piece of sweet potato kind of right in the middle. And then have this other piece kind of right here. These two pieces. And then I'm going to take this puree, a dollop of it. I'm going to kind of put it right there. And I'm going to smooth it kind of along this trail. And kind of adjust these sweet potatoes to be over there along with them. And the idea is that they can kind of make their way onto them. Kind of move the pile over there. And then I'm going to be taking the masala and bringing it along on the other side. I kind of want to extend it over the top a little. So it gets this kind of like almost, you know, night and day kind of thing, like a yin and yang type thing going. And that's what it looks like. It's not the most perfect plating in the world, but I kind of wanted it to be not a lot of this puree because it's kind of got a lot of its own little kick to it, but just to kind of soothe out that sweet potato. And I think actually it could use a little more sweet potato, so I'm going to put a little bit more on here. So there's some more sweet potato for you, but that's just basically it. It's not too crazy, but I'm going to try it out. I'm going to eat it here and see how it goes. But it's not meant to be kind of like that really super intense meal. It's a vegetarian offering, you know, there's no meat in this, but it's meant to be just like a really kind of contrasting flavors type dish. You get the heat, you get the coolness, and then the sweet potato, which is the bland kind of starchy thing in the middle. And you know, that's kind of what I was going for with this. So I'm gonna try it out, and I hope it's good. Actually, I'll try it out on camera because this is an experiment, so it could be bad. You know, it could just not work at all. But first, I'm gonna get a piece of sweet potato with the masala. Then I'm gonna get a piece, you know, to cool it off with the puree. So here's with the masala only. Oh, that's got so much kick to it. Like this is a spicy offering. I'll tell you that right now. With the serrano, jalapeno pepper, a good amount of cumin, and you know, just the curry I've been using, it's got a lot of kick to it. So now I'm gonna move over and get some of this puree on the sweet potato. And that's just soothing. And that's exactly what I wanted from that. Avocado is really like, it's got that subtle kind of dull flavor that kind of pairs well with the sour cream. It's very like that as well. And both of those just kind of refresh your mouth, honestly, after that really spicy one from the masala. And I'm gonna go back for some masala, but then dip in a little puree too. And that's kind of weird. I'm just gonna see how they work together. That's not kind of how I imagine this dish being, but I wanted to see how it works out. And that actually works pretty well. I actually like that quite a bit. I think if I ever made this again, I'd put more sweet potato. I'd make more sweet potato and put more on the plate. Because it kind of offers a lot to this, honestly. But it's good. I'm very happy with this recipe and how it turned out. And I think this is something you can definitely do yourself. If anyone's interested, let me know. If this is on YouTube, ask in the comments. I will supply a ingredients list, kind of some more detailed instructions on how to make it. Otherwise, just I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I did. It was a lot of fun. And I didn't actually have a proper spreader for the plating to kind of spread out the puree, so it was kind of sloppy, honestly. I was using a rice patty thing, this little rice patty thing, so it wasn't ideal by any means, but hopefully it still looked at least somewhat beautiful. But yeah, I'll check you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.